My name is Montgomery, and today we're going to be going over our final submission for Software Domains project for the class of spring 2025. We're going to jump straight into this. We're going to talk on Sprint 1 right now. As far as Sprint 1 goes, we have to be able to log into 3 accounts. We're supposed to have forget and create new users from the login screen, have our logo, and essentially just be able to log into each one and allow for password changing and all that good stuff. And admin should get password, a report of all expired passwords, and just how everything should be set up. So we're gonna first just show off the fact that we can log into all 3 sides. So with this Von Berger's account, he is actually an admin, as you can see. Uh, Shown by here, he has the full list of everything he can see. While we're in here, we're going to look at this expired passwords report. Now, obviously, I can view these, and because the database was just dumped and wiped, it also shows when they expire. We can also extend them, but if you extend them, it's only extended 30 days, and so there's no point being it was wiped last night. So it's not going to show any difference in change or so. But that's okay. We can refresh it just to see, and it's just live pulling from our database through our API call. We're going to go ahead and log into the manager side. The manager side is actually my account. So we're going to just log in, and I have these written in front of a sheet. So if it takes me a minute to log in, I'm sorry because I'm looking at the passwords. All right. So we again will be able to log into the management side, and we can see, hey, we see everybody else here. We can actually also see all that good stuff. Obviously, can't do nothing but maybe add a user, but we have to get approval first. So let's go ahead and show the accountant side off. Now with the accountant, that's Trevor's account. And we're just going to fly into this and show off, hey, there you go. We're in the accountant side. And we're just going to show, obviously, passwords are encrypted using the JavaScript function. I think it's called Cryptos. If I remember right, I do not quite. It's been so long ago since I've touched on this. Basically, all the information is stored in database. Passwords do expire. They do notify you 3 days before. It's actually a week before is how we have it set up for ours. And essentially, we'll just go back and show off the whole functionality of looking at the forgotten password. So we can go with Vaughn's. I used his example earlier. We just have very simple security questions for them. We have them written out in the page you're supposed to memorize. For him and just for usability, we always just put 1, 2, 3, just so we can get through it faster. We can come here. And if you look, I'm just going to try putting password, a very common one, and obviously it complains to me and it says, hey, there's a problem here. So we can go !1 and it should just be happy to take it. Nope, needs a uppercase letter. So we're going to make that a capital P, and it says, oh, they don't match. All right, great, perfect. There you go. And it tells you it submits. And then, of course, we can obviously just log in with his side of the account. And this will bring us basically to Sprint 2, where we will touch on just essentially charts of accounts. We can go ahead and click into this while we're waiting. And, just no duplicate names. All monetary value have 2 decimal spots, just like that. Accounts greater than 0 can't be deactivated, the whole 9 yards. Show who's logged in. Clicking on each account should take you to the ledger page. Yep. So we're really hitting on all of those. So if you click on here, it says, hey, here's where we're at. You can see our whole deal. That's our ledger for that. We're looking through. This is for the entire account and all that good stuff. We can also hit view, see if there's any comments. Some of these don't. We can also hit edit. We can change things like if we want to. Certain things we can't change, but some things we can. We can also deactivate the account right through there. So, and then essentially for the manager side or accountant side, let's just look at the accountant. We can look through and say, hey, here is the chart of accounts. What they can see, as you see, they can't add accounts. They can't edit accounts, but they can view accounts and they can look at accounts. So they can see the same thing that the admins can see, but they can't adjust any of the good stuff. So that's just something that we were touching on. As far as journalizing, so again, this is something that is mainly an accountant slash manager deal. But for us, we did leave the viewing of the journals in the admin side, but they have no functionality to add, change, and so on and so forth. So we're going to look through, here's our journal. This is our general journal, which shows all of the transactions and everything of that sort. We have sort through dates that do function. We also have a search function, so we can hit cash, and it highlights and shows you every single one and rounds out the balance at the bottom. We can also look by like post reference numbers, and it'll show you, hey, this is it. And so on and so forth. We can search from all fields, so it's nothing there. We can also search in between dates. So I'm just going to pick April 4th to April 6th, just to show you right here. We hit filter dates, and guess what? Only the 4th through the 6th show. We can also reset it, back out of it, and see that. All right, so jumping into journal entries, we have all of our types. We can also scroll through and see. So with this, we can see the approved journals, look through, see there's no files attached with this one. We can see everything that was made here with it and go back to it. And it will demonstrate some of that good stuff. So we're actually, while we're here, we're going to create a journal. This is going to just be some added erroneous data, but we're just going to add a file for kicks and giggles. The limitation is, I think, 15 megabytes on files. So we can go ahead and set up our account. You know, we're going to say it's 12. I'm just adding random things. We're just going to say it's 12, and we can continue to add other things and show you. We hit the upload file. It'll save our ID for us, and we'll say, hey, this is a test, and we'll just go ahead and hit create journal. Now, as you can see, we'll go down here. She is appended. Now, remember, we're on the accountant side. We can't do nothing about that. So, let's go do something about that. Also, want to touch down on sprint 5. This is a farther sprint down, but we do have messages that do currently show. You know, there is a journal currently pending waiting to be reviewed. And that's perfectly going to get us to go and show off the manager side, which is not Trevor, it's me. All right, so when we hop in, first thing we're going to see is, hey, there needs to be a journal reviewed. You come down here, we can go view. Hey, this is a test. Oh, we have a downloadable file. We'll go ahead and just look at this. If I remember right, this is for my research paper. Yep, sure enough, perfect. Okay, so it does come back and save. We can come back down here, and we can go ahead and just hit approve or deny. We can also just deny it and give a reason, test. And then it doesn't affect any of our monetary values, and it still is able to be seen and represented. All right, so we can be approved, we can reject, we can search through all that stuff, through dates and so on and so forth. We also have event log data for the creation of the account, plus the denial of the account, and these are the two changes. And you can actually link back to them. If we look through, we can actually click and we can look through the ledgers, or through the account ledgers and see all that good stuff. Is if the page gets over X amount of sizing, it will actually add a search function to it. And I believe that's just about it for... Yep, gets approval, gets a notification, which we all do, and yeah, that's pretty much it for Sprint 3. It was a lot of just touching down on here, being able to sort through them. We can hit rejected and adjusting and pending. Obviously, we don't have any pending because I just rejected our only pending. But point being, we can go back to our dashboard, and we're back there squared away. We can also do something of this sort. So something else to touch down on is while we're in journals, or I'm sorry, not the right page. We got to go to the old financial statements. This is a big growing pain for us, but we have gotten it worked. So we can actually sit here and print current sheet or print all sheets, and I'll show you how that function works. We can just do this, and this is the page that we have currently loaded in. And as we can see all through these, and we can print all the reports as needed, and that's no problem. Now you do have to kind of click through them to make them populate and load in, which is kind of rough, but that's just something how the API works and how it communicates, because it only calls per request. So with that being said, we can print all of this, save it, and we can shoot it off in an email. And so that's no problem there. We can also look through and see everything. The accountant can look through it and so on and so forth and appear, and we can check against our data points and everything else. We can apply date filters onto them. This is our balance sheet, again with a print recurrent report, which is going to be that, and a print all report, which is going to be this. Besides that, that's really going to be the main functionality of that. Something else that we touched on was the accountant being able to submit count or reversing, closing, and adjusting accounts. So we'll just go ahead and go to journal, and we can hit create, and this is actually where you choose your type of account. And as you can see, we're in the accounting side. Obviously they have all the same privileges and functionality, except guess what, it goes to the pending just like everything else for verification. We can add any sort of file, any sort of document. It is not limited to anything in the rubric or the sprint list. It can take any file. The only limitation has to be less than 15 megabytes. Anything more, and the backend does not like it. We're going to be looking through, and we can just glance through each of the sides and everything else. As far as like Sprint 5 goes, we've basically touched on it. The financial ratios are here. These are all calculated from the back end and just displayed here. So these are just updating constantly. So as money moves, it will appear. Sectional landing page for messages, and that's right in there. Dashboard shows all the colors appropriated, so like greens and yellows, and if this gets any lower, then it'll be red. And it's a pretty consistent feel across all accounts and all pages. So for the moment, we'll just go back to the admin side, and I'll show you that essentially it's the same subset of information. If I can, get logged in. And this is just the reason why it's a little different. It's just because my page is a little on the small side. And that's why it's, ooh, I got a spinny wheel. That's just why it's showing it like that. And but they're all basically identical minus the functions that you can see. Again, admin has all of the sorts of things to modify, change, suspend, the whole 9 yards. They can update users, they can back out, and that's no problem. It takes you back to the page. You can add users, they just get straight up added. You can look through and see the expired passwords, as I previously mentioned. You can also email, and the cool part about the email, you type in and it'll pull up a list of everybody that has an account. So no matter who it is, it's great. Everybody can see it. The email actually legitimately works and will send you an email, and you can also attach bodies in that sense to it. Again, they have charts of accounts. They're the only ones that have the control over all of that. They can also email from here where they can attach the page to it. Financial statements, they're able to look at it just to see, and everything else in that sort of deal. And then, of course, everybody has access to the event log. Here's something that we have looked. You can actually see how many failed attempts I had, and then it reset as soon as I pop through. Now, the information here is hidden, any pertinent information. As you can see the username and the email and their role and their status and their name and date of birth. Nothing that is private per se. That's just the stock copy look for this. So that's just like the ETC essentially. But yeah, so we'll just run back through this one more time just to show you every functionality, every faucet or face of this. Oh, and I'm trying to log in like I'm Vaughn with different passwords. That's great. So they can also, so here's something else that every user can do. They can actually go through and update their password from within the system. I know that wasn't directly a requirement, but they can. It's using the same type of system that the forget password uses on the login screen, except they don't need approval. They're posting to the API, which means that as long as their user ID is valid, they'll be able to adjust it in their own account. Obviously, they can't do it for other accounts because they have to match. So, something that we added for ease and trying, and so as far as again charts of accounts, they have the ability to add, or they have the, I'm sorry, they have the ability to view charts of accounts. That button does not work. I just never took it out, but I will be taking it out momentarily before we turn in this complete code, and that's my bad. Um, Again, financial statements, they have access to everything of the sort, the event log, the whole 9 yards. They're able to touch on every single function that they're allowed to. And again, we'll just run back through with Trevor's. And as you can see, they have, you can see the user list, and you can see the update button for updating password, where you put your stuff in. You also have your email that you can send, and your email, I'll go back, does the same thing, hits a drop list, and you can manually type it if I didn't specify that. You have journals, where you can create new journals and you look at everything, but you can't approve anything. And the financial statements where you can print, view, see everything of that sort, and they all live update. And then you also have access to the event log. The reason why we did that is because everybody can troubleshoot from that side of the deal. With that being said, I believe we touched just about on all the very key points. Some of the stuff is very nitty gritty, actually built into the code that is going to be hard to demonstrate and test without going on and on and on with our system today. So I believe that's going to be everything, that all the major points of each sprint. There are some nitty details, but essentially things that we're not going to really test are the generated IDs, the way that they're generated. If you look here, they are very much just randomly generated, or not randomly, but generated in the same scheme that they're supposed to. Um, you know, a lot of it's just other details that we've picked up and played through, and so on and so forth. So we just wanted to show off all of this, and we appreciate you watching. And I just want to say thank you, and thank you to my team and everybody else. This will be it. This is Fast Finances, and we're closing out. My name is Montgomery, and thank you for watching.